Hi, my name is Skyler Moxley. Today I'm going to be teaching you how to teach yourself how to play a ukulele. Now before we get into anything, if you already know how to play a ukulele and you actually know how to read notes, I would suggest clicking off of this video because you don't really need to know how to play a ukulele. Now before we get into this video, I'm going to kind of explain what I'm going to be teaching you how to do. First of all, I'm going to be teaching you how to play an actual ukulele. Meaning I'm going to be teaching you what the ukulele is, what is about it, like all the different notes that you can do. I'm going to be teaching you some notes. I'm going to be teaching you some bar notes. Bar notes are very hard to do, specifically because you have to put your finger down very hard on the ukulele in order to get the bar note to sound great. I'm also going to be teaching you how to tune your ukulele with some free tools. So you don't need to have a tuner. Tuners, you can buy tuners on Amazon. You can go to your local music store and buy a tuner. I would assume that they cost a lot, but I have been using an app on my iPhone in order to tune my ukulele. So before I get my ukulele out, I kind of want to put a disclaimer out there that if you're learning how to play a ukulele, I would suggest not wearing long sleeves. I wore this sweatshirt specifically for this video just so I could show you that it's very hard to play a ukulele with long sleeves. People can do it. It's very easy for some people, especially people who are experienced. I can't do it because I'm not super experienced. I've actually just learned how to play a ukulele. This video is really just for people who are just learning how to play a ukulele. I'm going to be showing you how to just make it a lot easier. I'm even gonna show you how to sing while playing a ukulele. That's something that a lot of people want to learn how to do, and it's really hard. It was really hard for me at first, and I just kind of winged it, and I did it very well. As you can see, I now took off my sweatshirt. It's over on the floor. It's gonna make it a lot easier for me to teach you how to play, and I've got my ukulele. This is my ukulele. I don't really have a name for it, but it's a ukulele. Before anything, these right here are how you tune a ukulele, okay? These are the notes. I will be teaching you all those notes in this next clip. So I got my ukulele here, I've got my tuning pegs, and I've got my strings. Before anything else, I would suggest tuning your ukulele, because if it's not in tune, then it probably won't sound the way you want it to sound. When you want to tune, you can have a tuner, which costs money, and it will tell you exactly what the notes are. For me, I just go on my iPhone and I can search ukulele tuner. You can find an app in the App Store and it will show you how to tune it. It's very simple. There's tutorials on how to do it. You can even go on your computer and do it, or you can just do it individually with your hearing. I personally can't do that, but it's a lot easier if you just use an app in order to tune. Now, you just move these pegs back and forth. I'm not gonna move it since mine's already in tune, and I don't wanna mess with that. But it's really simple, just move it. Don't move it super far, and you just hit the notes. The note that I just hit was on the first string. This is the first string, right here. That is an A. A connects all the way to this peg, right here. A is that one. Okay, your next note would be E. That's what E sounds like. E connects all the way up to here, right above the A peg. And you move it to make it sound like that. Now, your next note is C. You can see that C is this one right here. I'm gonna put my finger underneath it. C. C should sound like this. Okay? C goes all the way up across from this peg. This is C. And your next note is G. That one is the top one, the one that should be closest to your head. Should sound like that. It's this one right here. And that's it. that is all of the information you need to know on how to tune your ukulele. So when you're teaching yourself how to play a ukulele and you're going on YouTube and looking at different YouTube tutorials, a lot of them are gonna say something called a strumming pattern, and it's gonna be like DDU or something like that in like different orders. So DDU would mean down, down, up. That means the way you strum. So when you strum down, down, up, that's how you strum it. So it'd be like, that's how it would be. Pretty simple. The strumming patterns might be super, super complicated, and I would suggest, if you're looking up tutorials, to work on the strumming patterns before you start working on the song. So, like for example, like that right there is, you can even do it with notes. That's something that I personally have a lot. It's a lot easier. So if I'm starting to learn a song, I can just start by looking at the note. They'll be like, oh, it's a C with this strumming pattern. Okay. And it's pretty easy. That's pretty much it for strumming. So right now I'm looking at a chart with all the notes. I'm gonna show you right now. For anything, if you just wanna like practice some notes, this is the chart I'm looking at. It's a book that I got for self-teaching on ukuleles. Yeah, I'm gonna be teaching you how to do these. So first we're gonna start off with A. I'm not gonna do very many bar notes, but I'm gonna be showing you how to bar very easily. Okay? So first we're gonna start off with A. A is not a bar note. You put your first finger, which is your pointer finger, on the 3rd fret. Or the 3rd string, not the 3rd fret. The 1st fret, actually. So the frets are actually these lines. Put it there, and then you put your second finger on the 4th string and the 2nd fret. That is an A. Should sound like that. A minor, you keep your second finger on the 4th fret or the 2nd fret. Keep messing up. Should sound like that. A7, you would just keep your pointer finger where you put it for A. That's what it should sound like. C. C is probably the best note you're gonna play. Honestly, it is the easiest note. Sounds like that. It's the greatest sounding note in my opinion. There's a C7. Oh, I didn't tell you where C was. C is on your 1st string and on the 3rd fret. So right here. And then C7 is on the 1st fret, same string. And I don't know specifically what this note is called. I think it's called a C major. It's literally in between a C and a C7. If it's typically going to be used, it's going to be used with C or C7. Another easy one would be F. Pointer finger goes on the 2nd string, 1st fret. Middle finger goes on the 2nd fret, 4th string. I just did that because I'm so used to. F is something that you will be using a lot. Another one that we're using a lot is G. So you put your pointer finger, well, there's different ones. So the G is complicated. You're using 3 fingers for G. Okay, G sounds great when you use it. I personally put my 1st finger on the 1st string, 2nd fret, my middle finger on the 2nd fret, 3rd string, and then my ring finger on the 3rd fret, 2nd string. And it should sound like that. but it's typically used with your pointer finger being on the 3rd string, 2nd fret, your middle finger being on the 2nd fret, 1st string, and your ring finger being on the 3rd fret, 2nd string. It's harder for me because I'm so used to doing it wrong, but it's whatever makes it easier for you. Because if it's easier for you, and it sounds great, then that's what matters. Now that I've gone over some pretty basic notes on the ukulele, a lot of these notes you're actually going to be using. A lot of the songs that I've learned use those notes. You are now gonna need to know how to strum. First of all, before you strum, you're gonna need to know what fingers to use. If you don't want to use your fingers, then that's fine. You can use a pick. I typically feel like a pick is very hard to learn how to use unless you already know how to play a guitar. If you know how to play a guitar and you are just learning how to play a ukulele, then it will probably be so much easier for you. And if you're actually planning on learning a guitar, it would be probably easier if you learned how to use a pick on a ukulele, because then you can do it on both. It's a lot easier. Personally, I use my thumb. Some people use their pointer finger, and some people use all of their fingers, or they use the pick. With the thumb, you just kind of use the back part of your thumb. With your finger, you use the same thing with the pointer finger. When you're using all your fingers, you're literally just using this part of your hand. Typically more experienced people use all of their fingers, and less experienced people use one finger. It's obviously just preference on how you want to learn. If it's easier for you to use your thumb, then you use your thumb. If it's easier for you to use your pointer, it's not easier for me to use my pointer, then that's for you. It's whatever. The great thing about learning how to play a ukulele is you can basically choose what you want. Now I'm gonna go over some bar notes. This is what we call a bar note. You take your finger and you put it over the bar. Now, a lot of people have trouble with it because you need to make it so it sounds good. See how it's like not staying? If you were to take something like this, which is used to put over the strings to make it so it's in a different chord. So if I put this over this bar, the same note I just played, look at how great that sounds. That sounds great. But when you're using your finger, that sounded good. But that's because there's certain precautions you have to use to make it so it's a lot easier and it doesn't hurt your hand. So when you use bar notes, especially when you use excessive amounts of bar notes, your hands can cramp and then it hurts. So when you're using a bar, I would suggest putting your finger to its side. See how my finger is on its side? I would also suggest putting your thumb in the back. That makes it so you can hold on without as many problems. If you have a free finger, I would suggest putting a finger on top of that so you make sure it will work. That didn't sound very good. There was a bar note. I just did that without very many problems. Now the thing with bar notes is they are typically not just the bar note. There's typically a note like right here, something like this note, for example. Really bad. Because you need to make sure you're barring, you need to make sure you're putting the note down. So if you're gonna do a note, you need to make sure you put the string all the way down, or else it will not sound accurate enough. So obviously you came to learn how to sing for this clip. So singing is very hard for a lot of people. A lot of people would say that it's talent to learn how to sing while playing an instrument. For me, it's really easy. I'm not saying I'm talented, I'm just saying it's really easy. If you know how to sing, then you should have no problems. If you're just learning how to play an instrument, you might have a little bit of problem with it. Probably the hardest part is the singing part. So, for me personally, if you don't know the lyrics to the song that you're learning, and you're learning it, I would suggest learning the tune to it so you can hum it while you are learning the song. If you're learning the song on your ukulele and you hum it, it'll make it a lot easier for when you are actually getting ready to perform it. Because the only thing that you really need to focus on doing is singing while playing. So by the time you actually start singing, you will know the ukulele. You'll know the part for the instrument. For me personally, I just kind of go. I mean, most of the songs that I've learned, I've actually already known the lyrics to. The song that I'm currently learning, I actually don't know the full lyrics to it, but I do know the ukulele fully. And it's not hard for me to play because I've done a lot of practicing. I had some criticism from friends. I say, yo, is there anything you think I should work on? Obviously they're nice and they don't say anything, but if you know somebody that'll actually help you, like a music teacher, I typically use my music teacher as a tool because she gives us assignments and I use my ukulele to help. One of the things she told me to do was to try to practice not looking at the ukulele. If that's something that you need to work on, then you work on it. Simple as that. For me, it's really hard. I'd have to look at it first, but if I got the first note, then I can kind of do it. I didn't actually look at my ukulele though through the camera. I was actually looking at myself because that's what I've been looking at this entire time. Pretty simple. So I'm gonna show you the song that I've been working on. I have the lyrics right here because I'm still learning the lyrics. It's called Mr. Loverman by Ricky Montgomery. Here we go. I'm headed straight for the floor. The alcohol served its door. It's headed straight from my skin, leaving me daft and dim. I've got this shake in my legs, shaking the thoughts from my head. Who put these waves in the door? I crack it out. I'm Mr. Loverman, and I miss my Loverman. I'm Mr. Loverman, oh, and I miss my lover. And that's just the beginning of the song. I know the whole song. It's a lot of practice. Mostly what it is practice. And if you have patience and you can do it, then it'll sound great. I hope you enjoyed this long video of me talking with a ukulele in my hand. Have a great day.